Today we will focus on health and hygiene. Now, the very word health, you must know what is health. Actually, we use it commonly. Every person speaks of health. So you can say it is commonly used. It is a state of well being enough to function well physically, mentally, and socially. Thus, health is a state of complete physical, mental, social, and spiritual well being, not merely an absence of disease but or infirmity. This is what WHO has defined. Now, the next is what is disease? Disease, by the word, you can understand disease is away from ease. It means being uncomfortable. It is a physical or functional change from a normal state. It causes discomfort. Thus, it affects the health of a person. Disease is a change from the condition of good health. Function of the body is harmed. Causes of disease: infection caused by pathogens, lack of consumption of balanced diet, malfunctioning of various body parts and organs, consumption of tobacco, alcohol, narcotic drugs, allergic reactions of the body to certain substances in the environment. Next, we will focus on types of diseases. Actually, there are two types of diseases: congenital and acquired. So first we will focus on congenital diseases. Those diseases which are present right from birth. It is caused due to genetic abnormality, underdevelopment of an organ. It is inherited from parent to children. Next is acquired disease. Those diseases develop after birth. It is of two types: communicable disease and non-communicable disease. Now one has to understand what are communicable diseases. It is passed by an infected person to a healthy person either directly or indirectly. It is infectious. It is caused by microorganisms. Such microorganisms are called pathogens. The word pathogen needs to be focused. They are actually microorganisms which causes communicable diseases. They are of four types: bacteria, virus, fungi, and protozoa. Now, what is a bacteria? They are found in abundance in soil, water, and food. Common bacterial diseases are diphtheria, tetanus, typhoid, tuberculosis, pneumonia, whooping cough, and food poisoning. Here is the photograph of various diseases so that you can understand properly. First is of tetanus. These are the bacteria of tetanus. Then is diphtheria. Next is of tuberculosis and pneumonia. And then comes virus. Viruses are on the border line of living and non-living organisms. They are too small to be seen under an electron microscope. Thus, the common viral diseases are polio, rabies, chickenpox, measles, influenza, conjunctivitis, mumps, hepatitis, common cold, and AIDS. Next slide, you will see the photographs of chickenpox, mumps, polio, AIDS, and now we will stress on fungi. They are non-green plants. Single-celled example is yeast, and multicellular example is mushroom. They cause skin disease and food poisoning. Common fungal diseases are ringworm, athletics, foot. And again, you will see in the slide about ringworm, athletics foot, and then we will speak on protozoa. Protozoa are single-celled microorganisms. Common protozoa diseases are amoebic dysentery, malaria, sleeping sickness. In this slide, you will see amoebic dysentery, malaria, and now we will focus on transmission of communicable diseases. It is a very important part which one has to understand in order to prevent himself or herself from disease. Spread from an infected person to a healthy person in the following ways: airborne diseases. Diseases of respiratory tract are transmitted through air. Pathogens involved are bacteria and virus. Thus, the common diseases of airborne are common cold, influenza, measles, tuberculosis, diphtheria, whooping cough, and chickenpox. Now, the next part is how to prevent it. If everyone becomes careful, then it can be prevented. If everyone covers the mouth and nose with tissue paper and handkerchief while coughing or sneezing, one can prevent such communicable diseases. Next is waterborne diseases. They spread through water polluted with sewage. Drinking dirty water, using ice made from unclean water, etc., lead to the spread of waterborne diseases. Infections of ears, nasal passage, and throat are commonly spread through water. Now, the common waterborne diseases are typhoid, dysentery, cholera, and hepatitis. Next comes is foodborne diseases. Consuming stale, rotten, and unhygienic stored food causes food poisoning. Common diseases are intestinal infection, botulism, that is a kind of food poisoning. Now comes diseases through contact. Certain diseases spread by direct contact and indirect contact. Common diseases are athletics foot, intestinal infection, viral infection, and conjunctivitis. Next is vector-borne diseases. Vector-borne diseases are carried by mosquitoes, flies, ticks, and mites. They are the few examples of vectors that spread disease-causing germs. Common diseases are malaria, yellow fever, dengue, and filariasis. Malaria is caused by Anopheles mosquito. Dengue is caused by Aedes mosquito. Yellow fever is another disease spread by Aedes mosquito. Filariasis is caused by worms and is transmitted by Culex mosquito. African sleeping sickness is caused by a protozoan, spreads by the bite of Tes fly. Plague is caused by a rod-shaped bacterium which lies as a parasite in fleas and live on rats, mice, squirrels, and other rodents. Rabies is caused by the bite of dog. Non-communicable diseases. It is caused due to the deficiency of certain nutrients. It is also caused due to the malfunctioning of certain organs of the body. They cannot be passed from person to person directly. Now we focus on types of non-communicable disease. Nutritional deficiency diseases. It is a mineral deficiency or vitamin deficiency disease. If a person does not eat sufficient quantity of balanced food, he or she is said to be undernourished. Lack of any nutrients in the diet is known as malnutrition. It leads to deficiency of specific nutrients and causes deficiency disease. Here is the table of vitamin and their deficiency diseases and source. Vitamin A and deficiency disease is night blindness. Sources are all yellow fruits, fish, egg, mango, etc. Vitamin B deficiency disease is beriberi, and sources of vitamin B are yeast, unpolished rice, and egg. B12, the deficiency disease is anemia, and the sources of B12 vitamin is meat, fish, and yeast. Now vitamin C, and the deficiency disease is scurvy, gum swelling up with often bleeding. The sources of this vitamin are citrus foods, tomato, potato, green leafy vegetables, etc. And most important is gooseberry or amla. Vitamin D deficiency disease is rickets, and the sources of it are milk, egg, liver, skin, makes it under sunlight. Vitamin E, skin and reproductive system is affected by the deficiency of vitamin E. And the sources of vitamin E are wheat, milk, vegetable oil, fish, and meat. Now, in this table, we will focus on minerals, deficiency diseases, and sources of rich minerals. Calcium. Deficiency disease are rickets, and sources are milk, eggs, fish, and green vegetables. Next mineral is phosphorus. It is needed for building strong bones and teeth. Now, the deficiency disease with regards to phosphorus is bad teeth and bones. The rich sources of phosphorus are milk, meat, nuts, beans, and grains. Next is iron. It is needed for the formation of hemoglobin in RBCs. Deficiency disease is anemia, and sources are green leafy vegetables, egg yolk, and liver. Next mineral is sodium. It is needed for healthy function of nerves to control the amount of water in the body. Deficiency disease is muscular cramps, and sources are table salt and seafood. Next mineral is iodine. Production of thyroxine and general metabolism. And the deficiency disease is goiter, and the sources of it is iodine, salt, and seafood. Next mineral that is needed by our body is potassium. Normal functioning of nerves and muscles is the need, and the deficiency disease of potassium is muscular weakness and often paralysis. Sources are banana, milk, vegetables, and meat. Next mineral is chlorine. It is needed for normal functioning of nerves and enzyme action. Deficiency disease is weakness and dehydration. Sources are salt, fruits, and cereal. Now we will focus on disease due to malfunctioning of body organs. It is very important, and one needs to understand it properly, because often in the society, in the family, one faces such type of malfunctioning of the body organs, and the knowledge will help to get early solutions for healthy living. The first of it is diabetes. It is a disease caused by lack of hormones, insulin secreted by the pancreas. The level of sugar in the blood rises to such an extent that some of it is passed out along with urine. Symptoms of diabetes are excessive thirst, frequent need to urinate, fatigue, and loss of weight. Next comes is heart disease. It is of three types: coronary heart disease, atherosclerosis, and heart attack. First is coronary heart disease. The supply of blood reduces because coronary arteries becomes hard and narrow. The blood supply to the heart muscles is reduced. It can lead to angina, and which is a temporary chest pain. The next is atherosclerosis. In this disorder, the inner lining of the arteries become hard, thick, and rough. This process usually starts with the building of cholesterol on the inner walls of the arteries. And the third heart disease is heart attack, which is the extreme event. It occurs when a portion of heart muscles is deprived of its blood supply. The symptoms of heart diseases are pain under the breast, bone extending to the arms, throat, or back, and a feeling of great pressure in the chest. Third is arthritis. It is a disease of joints. It is of two types, rheumatic arthritis and osteoporosis. Fourth is cancer. It is an uncontrolled growth of cells in body tissues. A growing mass of cancerous cell is called malignant tumor. Next is allergy. It is an unseen hypersensitivity to body tissues to certain substances. Now, how to prevent diseases? In other words, do's and do nots. One should not eat exposed food items. Secondly, drink water which is covered, or drinking water left never uncovered. Third is there should be no stagnant water in and around your house or your living surrounding conditions. Fourth is surroundings should be kept clean. Fifth, garbage should be thrown in covered bins. Next, one should take care of personal cleanliness, and regular immunization is a must. So this was all about healthy living. Thank you.